Hey y'all, my name is Andy Lane with Plano Fire Rescue. We're here today on the showroom floor of FDIC, and we'd love to show you around our new Engine 6. So we went with the Velocity cab, and it's the 2000 GPM Waterous pump. So kind of to give you a little overview on the interior, one of the things that we decided to do was to go with rocker switches. They seem to be a little bit more durable and hold up better over time. So that was a change we wanted to make. We also did, on the exterior, we did the cutout doors. We've got Plano, just if you're unaware, is we're a suburb, really a city now, just north of Dallas. So we're close to 300,000 people, 13 stations, 400 sworn personnel. So we've got a pretty diverse city, and a lot of our neighborhoods are pretty compact. We've got cars on both sides of the road. So one of the other little things we did was we did the cutaway doors, just so when they swing open, we would have better clearance. So we did go with the extra step just for safety and ease of getting in and out of the cab. One of the things also we did, we added the window up at the top. I know some of the options are to not have a window, but we decided to go with the window to help the guys in the back seat. Any kind of advantage we could give those guys to help with the size up, initial on scene, we wanted to try to do that. We also went with the compartment on the exterior. We are the EMS provider for Plano, so we do run ALS engines. So we have EMS equipment. So we wanted to be able to access the EMS equipment from the exterior in addition to on the inside of the cab. So moving back to the rear of the cab, one thing too, before I forget, all of the handles on the exterior are backlit. Again, that was just kind of one of those extra features we wanted to add for safety. So again, we can access the EMS compartment from the exterior or the interior. We also intentionally went with the lower doghouse, again, for more visibility for the firefighters that are riding in the back. So all of our seats are front facing, and we tried to load as much storage as possible on the interior. We tried to utilize some of the overhead storage options, some of the slide out drawer compartments that are built into the doghouse as well. I know a lot of cities carry ballistic gear now, helmets, bulletproof vests and such, and those take up a lot of room. So that was one of the things we wanted to be able to accommodate for, and it be stored safely. So like I said, on the exterior, we tried to utilize as much space as possible. Got the option here for an extinguisher, water can, or any other kind of gear. And it's also transverse. So you could possibly mount some other longer tools or something like that. So kind of moving back towards the pump panel, we went with the stacked speedlays. We are trying to get a little bit more firefighter friendly with deployment. So we tried to really go after the low hose bed kind of mindset. So even with the two speedlays, we tried to make those as low as possible so they're accessible. The gauges on the pump panel, we went with backlit gauges, and we wanted to make sure that the gauges were 400 PSI readings instead of up to 600. Sometimes if you're not careful, that's one of the oversights that can happen. You can get 600 PSI gauges. So we wanted to make sure that we were intentional on that. As far as on the deck gun up at top, we did go with the dual discharge option. So we have the same discharge feature at the top of the manual deck gun. So the driver can open the deck gun from ground level, or he can also open it from the top. Again, kind of that quick water concept, getting water on the fire as fast as possible. We did go with the cutout on the step here, just to give another option for supply, we use a 5-inch for our LDH, so we wanted to have the option there for another kind of a short shot roll of the LDH. We also, we traditionally on all of our other engines, we have 500-gallon tanks. We were able to bump up to 600-gallon. We had the space to do it, so we wanted to try to optimize that space, not leave it empty, and more water is better, right? So moving back to the compartments, we did go with the built-in toolbox option. One thing that we added that we felt was important too is, and all of the compartments except for the wheeled compartments, we went with the outlets. So we kind of did that with kind of with the future in mind. They don't specifically have a need right now, but we wanted to have those options on there for the future. So also on all of the back panels or the back walls of the compartments, we did go with the panel, the extended panel. You can probably see it better in this compartment. So we went with the removable plate so that you can take it out altogether if you want, or you can customize it for different kind of tool mounts or anything like that. And if it wears out or whatever over time, you can unbolt it and replace it with another one. So again, like I said, keeping up with the storage concept too, we wanted to utilize as much space as possible for extra SCBA bottles. You could actually even put a water can or fire extinguisher or anything like that too. One thing we also did too, traditionally we had diesel. We had the option on either side of our rigs to get diesel on the driver's side or on the officer's side. We went with having the fuel located just on the driver's side. That's more kind of what we're all accustomed to in our normal everyday lives. So we went with that option because we were able to utilize more space. So, and I'll show you when we get over there to the other side. So in the back compartments, on the bottom compartment, on this compartment on the officer side as well, the bottom shelf is full depth, and then going up from there, we also have shelving, and that's portable and movable. You can kind of customize that. And again, we also have outlets there as well. Okay, so for the rear of the engine, just kind of starting at the bottom with the bumper, we want to make sure to do the 45, the angled bumpers, a little bit lower profile, just kind of help with the overall kind of profile of the apparatus. And working our way up, we have the storage option. One thing that we realized during this build process was you can use or you can go with a roll-up door. However, with a roll-up door, we were gonna lose 4 to 5 inches because of the mechanism that it takes to be able to roll up the compartment. So going with the traditional swing doors, we were actually able to utilize more space. It's not a very big space anyway, so we wanted to try to utilize what we could. And then working our way up from there, we are moving to a more traditional rear pull configuration for our frontline engines. Like with a lot of engines in the United States, the first engine pulls past, leaves the front for the truck. So it only seemed to make kind of common sense for us to start focusing on our attack lines being focused off the rear of the apparatus. So we went with 4 discharges for that, and within that it's customizable where like I said, we have some diverse districts, so that we're going to allow the districts to set up their rigs for their first due. So but we do have enough room for a couple of pre-connects, 600 feet of LDH, and then 600-foot split of 2.5. On this engine, we also went with the extra shelving option above the 2.5 hose. Again, it's maybe not necessarily used right now, but it is an option for the future. So, and these are pretty versatile. You can flip those up if you don't need them. And we did go with the hose trays. It does help for reloading, for safety and all that. So we wanted to keep the hose tray concept. We also went with the cutouts on the divider to help with reloading hose. That way you're not bending over awkwardly trying to reload hose into a narrow divider. So, let's see. So we also went with the rear ladder storage. We are moving away from the top mounted hydraulic arm system. We found that over time that was a maintenance issue, so we wanted to get away from that and get simpler and not have to rely on any kind of electrical apparatus to get a ladder out. So we did go with the through option instead of the exterior mounted, just because we needed the additional space. So we've got the 24-foot extension ladder and a 14-foot roof ladder. And then we also have obviously the tool storage above it. Okay, so the officer side of the engine, it's very similar to the driver's side. One of the things I did want to show you, because we went with the single option for fuel, we were able to add another storage option for SCBAs or water cans, or extinguishers. So that's kind of the trade-off there. And then again, these compartments are pretty much the same. We did do the electrical, the plug storage in the front and the rear compartment. And then up top, we do have a transverse compartment up there. If you have an A-frame ladder, Little Giant, or anything like that, we're able to store it up there. So it's a little bit hard to see from ground level, but we also did go with the coffin storage on this officer side, so for additional storage up top. And then we tried to put as many lights as humanly possible throughout the apparatus, just to help light it up for safety, scene safety, and to make it pretty. So, all right. So on the officer side, one of the little things that we did that others might find appealing is we did make sure we went with a lower, like a cutout for our MDT. Our old ones set up pretty high, and it obstructed the view of not only the officer but the guys in the back. So we wanted to make sure that we try to get that as low profile as possible. And then we also went with the SCBA in the officer seat. We did go with the extenders on the seat belts. We found with some of our other generation apparatus that had the SCBA in the seat, it was pretty tight and it hung up. So we did address that with getting the extenders. This is a kind of a unique thing that we went with. We decided to add our hose reel to the front bumper. So it's 150-foot, 1-inch red line. We were able to get it spec'd to ensure that our angle of approach was safe, because that was a concern anytime you start adding things that are lower. So we were able to address that. So the concept with this was, red lines are primarily going to be used for rubbish fires, dumpsters, car fires, overhaul. So the front of the apparatus seemed to make sense for us because it's going to be an easy access point. So, and we also went with the recessed Q2, just again kind of help make the overall profile a little bit sleeker. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Thanks for taking the tour with us. We are looking forward to getting Engine 6 as well as our future builds on the road to serve our citizens. we want to thank Pierce and Siddons Martin for all their help, and looking forward to the next one. So thanks.